Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Tawana Nicole. I am the founder, the visionary, the owner of Girl Power Gems. Welcome to this Tell It Tuesday. I am super excited about the topic of today, and it is the topic of being the villain in your own story. And this came about because I had a dream and the vision stuck with me. And it really resonated with me, this idea of us playing a role and being the villain in our own story. We always tend to assess our lives where situations that have not necessarily gone right, whether it be for professional purposes, relationally, or whatever. And we kind of place blame on others as they're the reason, or that situation was the reason, or that circumstance wasn't the reason for us not living in our full bloom, our full capacity, us not getting the job, or that relationship not being successful. And a lot of times we don't even recognize, while yes, outside entities play a role, we ourselves can actually be the villain in our own story. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow. And yet we have to look at us in a capacity of being that villain in our own story and working to navigate us not being the villain in our own story. And when those moments come when we recognize that we played a role, it's essential that we don't beat ourselves up, that we give ourselves the same grace that we extend to others. And we know that there are times where the world will beat us up enough. It's tough out there. It's rough out there. Life be lifing and people be peopling. you know. And so it is essential that we become our own allies as opposed to being an adversary in our own story. Because this life we live in is a journey, and each of us have a role that we play. We have our own unique narrative. And, sometimes it's too easy for us to become entangled in self doubt, self criticism. We often find ourselves standing in our own way of our own success. Sometimes we don't even realize that we are. And the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, we are the authors of our own story, aka everyone's got a story. What is that going to look like? What is your life story going to read? We know the world can be challenging. It is a place where negativity is something that we will encounter on a daily basis. We live in this cancel culture vultures, where people lift us up to bring us down. We rely too much on the opinions of others that we self internalize and that we then manifest because we're believing it. So now we are accomplices in our own villainization. And we have to stop navigating the external pressures and societal expectations, because it's easy to be overwhelmed with the constant feedback of the world around us. However, we often forget that the most influential voice that we have is our own. It's the voice inside our heads that truly govern us and navigate us, not necessarily what the world is telling us. We need to start navigating our triumphs, our challenges, our victories, and even our defeats. And it's just simply crucial for us to learn that we be much more kinder to ourselves. I cannot stress that enough. Kindness to yourself is muy importante. We need to give ourselves grace to make mistakes, to stumble, to fall, to learn, to grow from all of those experiences that we have. We would forgive a friend quicker sometimes than we forgive ourselves for our shortcomings. We will forgive our partners quicker than we will forgive ourselves. And it's time we start extending that same forgiveness, that same love, that same compassion to ourselves. And on this journey, remembering that success is not linear. It's going to be filled with ups, downs, twists, turns, and the sum of our efforts and perseverance and ability to rise above our own self-imposed limitations, to get out of our own goddamn way, then we can truly begin to say, instead of being the villain in our story, we are the hero of our story. We are standing in our power and knowing that the only thing that hinders us is us. I want us to be mindful of the dialogue we have in our heads instead of being the villain. We got this. What you got to say on this Tell It Tuesday? Thank you for joining me. If you like what you heard, if it resonated with you, please the like, the subscribe, and the share button, and come back for a next episode of Tell It Tuesday.